Angela from Natural Living Alchemy. Well, welcome to my channel. Today we are going to be making a facial moisturizer for acne-prone skin. Now, I am not making any sort of claims this is going to cure all types of acne, but it will help support and balance the skin's natural function. We are going to go over some of the different common types of acne, not all types, but just more of the common ones that you might encounter. But just know, if you are experiencing anything on the more severe inflammatory type of acne that isn't necessarily hormone related, you might want to also consider addressing gut health as well as liver congestion, as those could be contributing factors. And something else to keep in mind is sometimes where the acne is on the face can actually signify the health of certain organs and organ systems. Just a quick Google search regarding acne face maps might be something else to look into, especially if you got that type of acne that is just stubborn, it won't go away, and it keeps happening on a specific part of your face. I'm going to have a copy of one of the facial maps that I like to use linked in the blog post that accompanies this video. So if you just want to head down to the description box below this video, you're going to find the link to the full written blog article that does accompany this video, as well as just some links as to where you can purchase some of these products for yourself and you can make this at home. Keep in mind they are not affiliate links. I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm just trying to make sure that I am providing you with a safe place to buy your ingredients that's not Amazon. Before we begin, I just want to remind you that I'm not a doctor. None of what is on this channel is considered medical advice. It's here for education and entertainment purposes only. And it's up to you to talk to your healthcare professionals before following anything that I say. Okay, so let's now talk about different types of acne that this moisturizer may help address. We will start off with blackheads, also known as open comedones. So this is a common type of mild, non-inflammatory acne, and its appearance is small raised bumps that have a black tip, and they're caused by a buildup of dead skin cells and bacteria. The pores open and widen so that the contents are exposed to air, and the air oxidizes the buildup and actually just makes it appear darker. Next are whiteheads, also known as closed comedones. So this is a mild, non-inflammatory type of acne, and it's white spots or bumps that do stay closed on the surface. And it's caused by clogged hair follicles by buildup of sebum as well as dead skin cells. So our general treatment options here would be, lifestyle changes you might want to consider making. Avoiding overwashing and irritating your skin. Avoid harsh products with high drying alcohol contents. Eating a healthy, balanced diet. Keeping hydrated. Limiting sun exposure, and really just leaving them alone. Do not pick, scratch, or pop blackheads or whiteheads. Doing so may actually increase your risk of infection. Some medical options for this point would be salicylic acid, glycolic acid, lactic acid, benzoyl peroxide, and sulfur. Next we have papules. This is mild to moderate inflammatory acne. It is solid and tender and lacking fluid. They are small, superficial raised areas of the skin, and they may appear slightly swollen and red. Papules are caused by whiteheads and blackheads that are irritated and therefore start to damage the surrounding skin. Picking and squeezing can further aggravate the inflammation, and it also may lead to scarring. Pustules, also known as pimples. So this is mild to moderate acne that is infected with bacteria. So the papules develop at the mouth of the hair follicle, and they look like larger, more inflamed whiteheads. You may even notice some pus in the center, and they are typically surrounded by red and inflamed skin. The cause is actually dead skin cells and bacteria, and those together begin to form a pus. Our next type of acne is acne vulgaris, also known as common acne. And this is just a common skin condition that generally affects teenagers and young adults, but really, acne doesn't care how old you are. It can happen at any age. So this looks like pimples, blackheads, as well as cysts. These are caused by blockages and inflammations at the hair follicle. It is tied to hormonal changes, excess oil production, as well as bacteria. Acne mechanica. So this is a mild skin condition that can develop anywhere on the face and the body if the person is already prone to breakouts. This type of acne is very common in adolescence. So it varies from small comedones to mildly inflamed papules and pustules. Now our cause here is a little bit different. This type of acne is triggered by excessive heat, pressure, friction, or rubbing of the skin. Our treatment options here would be applying a warm compress to the affected area. This is going to encourage bacteria as well as debris to rise to the surface of the skin. Washing the affected area with cool water, and not picking or squeezing the acne, as the bacteria that's trapped inside can actually begin to spread to the surrounding skin. You might want to also consider some of those lifestyle changes that I mentioned in our first treatment options. But our medical options here would be salicylic acid, benzoyl peroxide, retinoids, topical antibiotics, and anti-androgen agents. The next few types of acne that we're going to go over are not necessarily suitable for this type of moisturizer on their own. So basically, what I'm saying is if you have any of these types of acne, you might want to start considering addressing gut health and use that as a treatment option alongside working with a healthcare professional. Here we have nodules. This is one of the most severe forms of acne, and our appearance would be large and inflamed lumps that feel firm to the touch and are located deep within the skin. They are painful but not always red, and they can look like large papules with no visible center. They can appear like your normal skin tone or like mildly bruised bumps. This is caused when the pores become clogged with the C. acnes bacteria, and this bacteria is actually naturally present on the skin. But sometimes it becomes trapped, causing infection, inflammation, as well as pain. We have cysts, also known as cystic acne, and this is a severe inflammatory type of acne. So these are large pus-filled lumps that are deep within the skin. They are deeper into the skin than what nodules actually are, and this is caused by hormonal changes. Our treatment options here are a little bit more limited than the other lists that I've given you. So these types of acne can actually cause dark spots as well as scarring on the skin. So our treatments would be antibiotics and different types of oral medications, and working with a dermatologist or medical professional. Our final type of acne that I just want to touch on is acne conglobata. Now, this is rare, but it is a severe combination of several types of acne that actually begin to interconnect with each other. So this occurs when cysts and nodules begin to grow together in the deeper layers of the skin. The cysts from this type of acne generally contain foul-smelling discharge, and they may appear on the face, neck, back, the upper arms, the buttocks, as well as the thighs. Our treatment options for this final type of acne, I'm going to first recommend immediate medical attention, because significant scarring and skin disfiguration can actually occur over time with this type of acne. Other treatments would include antibiotics, oral contraceptives, retinoids, topical steroids, chemical peels, and drainage and extractions. Now, just a little note on this last one, I don't particularly care how many episodes of Dr. Pimple Potter you may have watched. Please leave this to the professionals. Now, this is coming from somebody who, as an autistic person, one of my preferred stims is actually picking at things, but I've actually learned by giving myself scars, this is not really a good idea or something that you would want to do. So like I said, just leave it to the professionals. You may have noticed that one of the treatment options for blackheads, whiteheads, papules, pustules, acne vulgaris, and acne mechanica was salicylic acid. Now, the first ingredient that I want to talk about is a natural and gentle alternative to salicylic acid, and that is found in white willow bark. Now, we aren't going to actually be using the bark in this particular formulation. I am going to be using it in this form. So this is actually in its extract form, and it's in a 14:1 extract. So, white willow bark contains a substance from which salicylic acid is actually derived. Just know that it is not as effective as pure synthetic salicylic acid is, but it is an option for at-home treatment. Synthetic salicylic acid can be harsh to the skin, especially in higher concentrations, and overuse can lead to skin irritation, dryness, as well as peeling. Salicylic acid is a suspected endocrine disruptor, as high amounts of salicylic acid can actually mimic estrogen. Endocrine disruptors can also contribute to hormonal acne. So one way to make sure that you're not going to get any adverse effects from salicylic acid is to always try to use it within its safe concentrations. So this would be 0.5 to 2% in over-the-counter skincare products. So only you are really going to know which option is going to be better, the synthetic salicylic acid or something like a white willow bark extract. So perhaps your acne is so severe that it's having a negative impact on your general well-being. So salicylic acid might actually be a better choice for that circumstance. But just know, my goal is to just present you with information so that you can make your own informed decisions. So let's talk now a little bit more specifically about white willow bark extract. So it is an antioxidant, and this is due to its flavonoid content. It contains phytochemicals called tannins, and these have astringent properties that can help shrink pores as well as address oiliness. White willow bark extract contains a minimum of 5% salicin, and this is a chemical that is similar to aspirin. So salicin contains anti-inflammatory properties. In skincare, it has the ability to minimize oiliness of the skin, soothe rough skin, irritation, as well as redness. Topical applications of salicin may also improve facial wrinkles, fine lines, an uneven skin tone, pigmentation, as well as skin firmness. The recommended usage rate is 0.1 to 1%. And how you're going to use it is you want to dissolve 1 part of the extract in 10 parts of warm distilled water. But don't worry, I will go over that when I show you how to make this. Our next active ingredient is going to be sage hydrosol. Now, this helps control the production of sebum on the skin. It is antioxidant rich, anti-inflammatory, as well as just being extremely soothing to the skin. It is suitable for most skin types, including mature, combination to oily, acne-prone, dull, and even sensitive. Now, this next ingredient might seem a little bit counterintuitive, but it has some amazing skin benefits and properties, and that is tallow. Now, I refined my tallow myself from beef suet that is from grass-fed cows. I do have a video I will link in the description box below if you want to refine your own tallow, okay? If you don't want to refine your own tallow, you can certainly purchase this in an RBD form, which just means refined, bleached, and deodorized. Now, just to mention, when I am making my own, I do put it through the process 2 to 3 times, and that helps refine it. It is, as you can see, fairly snow white, and it doesn't really have any of that beefy smell left. Why would we want to be just putting straight fat on our face? What benefit would that provide us? Well, tallow has a similar makeup to the sebum found on your skin, meaning it's compatible with your skin, and it's even able to penetrate into the deeper layers of the skin. Grass-fed tallow has the highest source of CLA, or conjugated lanolinic acid, and this is an essential fatty acid that can help improve hydration, elasticity, as well as the skin barrier. CLA allows moisture to move freely in and out of the cells. It is these increased levels of CLA that are only found in grass-fed tallow, as it's actually the grass diet and the sunlight that the cattle receives that provides it with this benefit. You will not find the same levels of CLA in factory-farmed corn or grain-fed cattle. Tallow is rich in vitamin A, D, E, K, and B12. And it is suitable for all skin types from dry to oily, combination, mature, and sensitive. Now, one last thing to mention, if you're vegan, you can just skip this ingredient and add more of the next. And that next ingredient is shea butter. Shea butter has protecting and emollient properties, and it helps stimulate the production of collagen, and it can also help with the appearance of scars. Shea butter is rich in vitamins A, E, and F. It may help with eczema, psoriasis, as well as just various types of rashes. It provides long-lasting hydration, and it helps soften the skin. Shea butter also has an ability to protect the skin from the rays of the sun. It is not a substitute for a sunscreen, but it just does have some UV properties to it. Now, if you are allergic to latex, you would want to avoid this butter in the raw form. From my research, refined shea butter has its natural latex proteins removed, and therefore it should be safe to use. However, I would still do a patch test with a little bit of refined shea butter to see if you have a reaction, if shea butter is still something that you want to try to use. Now, just so you're aware, I am going to be sharing the amount in percentages so that you can easily upscale or downscale this formulation. The equipment that you're going to require to make this moisturizer would be a couple heat-proof containers, a couple non-heat-proof containers, a digital scale, some whisks, some spatulas, a stick blender, 70% isopropyl alcohol for sanitizing all of your equipment, and a storage container. So let's head into the lab and let's mix this up.
Let's begin by weighing out our 4 phases, beginning with phase A. So you're going to want to measure out 8% of emulsifying wax NF, and all of phase A is going to be going into a heat-proof beaker. If you do not have one, you can certainly just use a stainless steel bowl and follow a double boiler method. Next, we have 2% cetyl alcohol. %5 shea butter. Mine is raw, but you could also use the refined version if that's what you prefer. %5 tallow. Now keep in mind, if you don't want to use tallow, you could just use an additional 5% shea butter. And the final ingredient to go into phase B is going to be 7% sweet almond oil. Once you have all of your phase A ingredients weighed and measured out, you're just going to put it to the side and let's get our other phases weighed out. I find it much easier to do it this way and have it all done before I start. So next, you're going to want to take a little bit of water, distilled water, and put it in a stainless steel bowl and allow that to heat up, because that's going to go into our phase D. Our phase B, which is going to go into a stainless steel bowl, consists of 4% propanediol 1,3. On top of that, I like to add 25% sage hydrosol. And then just kind of give them a little shake. It's just a small amount of propanediol. I find it easier just to put the sage hydrosol over top, mix it up, and then put it in the bowl. But you could certainly measure them out separately if you wanted. If you are going to do them together like I did, always be sure to hit that tare button in between adding ingredients. And the final ingredient to go into phase B is 39.5% distilled water. Once you have all this phase weighed and measured out, you're just going to put it to the side, and then we are going to get our next phase, which is going to be our preservative and our antioxidant weighed out. So here's phase C. That consists of 0.5% liquid dermal plus the preservative, and 0.2% vitamin E MT50 mixed tocopherols, and this is our antioxidant. And our final phase is going to be phase D. So you're going to want to add 0.3% of white willow bark extract, and then 3% of our warmed distilled water, and warm it up till it's about 40 to 50 degrees Celsius. That warming it up just helps the extract dissolve into the water a little bit better. Once you have it measured out, just take a whisk and just whisk it up until it is incorporated and any little lumps of extract have then been dissolved. And then you're just going to place those two phases aside and start adding some heat on a hot plate, or you can use a double boiler method. But we're going to want to heat phase A and phase B simultaneously until they reach about 70 to 80 degrees Celsius. And you're just going to want to make sure that you check the temperature and stir the mixtures periodically as they warm up. Now my oil did get a little bit warmer, that's fine. I just let it cool off a little bit before I poured phase A into phase B. Then you're going to want to stick blend for a few seconds to start that emulsion. And then just allow it to cool for a few minutes, and then just stick blend until homogeneous. Once everything is just nice and thick and mixed up and uniform, you're going to want to allow this to cool off before we can add phase C and phase D. So you're just going to want to allow it to cool off to 40 degrees Celsius so that the other phases don't get damaged. Now I did forget to hit the record button on the camera when I added my preservative and antioxidant phase. That's fine. Then I just added phase D and stirred until it was nicely mixed. Then you're just going to want to throw it in the fridge to cool overnight.
So it has actually been 24 hours since I mixed mine up, and all there is left now to do is package it. So what I like to do is just take it and just give it just a little bit of a stir again. And then you're going to want to just take a small container and place your moisturizer inside. Okay, and that is it. That is how easy it is to make your own moisturizer for acne-prone skin. Now, before I let you go, there is just a couple substitutions and maybe different recommendations I have on how you can change this at home. If you're a vegan, skip the tallow altogether and just add more shea butter. You could switch out the shea butter for a different butter. You could switch out the almond oil for a different carrier oil. You could switch out the propandiol 1,3 for a different humectant such as glycerin. Now, if you were wanting to raise the amount of white willow bark extract, I would suggest going in 0.1% increments and just making sure that you're staying within the recommended usage rate of 1% of the entire formulation. You could also lower the amount of white willow bark extract used. Just be sure to follow the same ratio of 1 part extract to 10 parts warm distilled water. I just want to show you how this moisturizer absorbs into the skin. So we're just going to take a little bit that we had left on our spatula, and we'll just put it on our arm. And then you're just going to see how fast that actually absorbs in. Now, this is actually the face moisturizer that I am using daily. I wanted to know what would happen if I used it on skin that wasn't actually acne prone. I have some oiliness that I'm wanting to address, and this moisturizer has definitely helped tone that down a little bit. So just something to keep in mind. You don't have to have acne to use this moisturizer. It has just a lot of skin-loving ingredients in it that can certainly help balance stuff out for you. Why don't you go ahead, comment down below, and let me know what is your go-to method for helping treat acne and blemishes. I would love to hear about it. Don't forget to hit the like button if you've liked this video, and share it with anyone else who you feel might enjoy it. Consider subscribing to the channel so that we can spend more time together and that you don't miss future videos. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram, so be sure to connect with me over there as well. But I just want to say thanks for stopping by today, and I'll see you next time.